Welcome to the second module of chapter 10. In the previous module, we proved existence and uniqueness of Galois fields. There we proved that if F is a finite field, then order of F is p to the power n for some prime p and positive integer n. And conversely, given any prime p and positive integer n, there is a finite field containing p to the power n elements, and if f1 and f2 are finite fields of same order, then f1 and f2 are isomorphic. Today we study different properties of finite fields. First, we introduce a particular automorphism which we call Frobenius automorphism, and we show that this automorphism has deeper impact to study properties of finite fields. Then we characterize subfields of a finite field and show that a field F is a finite field if and only if its multiplicative group is a cyclic group. And as an application of these properties, we prove that given any positive integer n and prime p, we can construct an irreducible polynomial px of degree n over zp. So first, let us define Frobenius automorphism. Consider a field F of order p to the power n. Then recall that F is a splitting field of the polynomial x to the power p to the power n minus x over zp. In fact, every element of F is a root of this polynomial, that is a to the power p to the power n is equal to a for all a in F. This observation has far-reaching consequences. In the following result, we show that the mapping sigma f to f defined by sigma a equal to a to the power p for all a belongs to F is an automorphism if the field F is of characteristic p. First, note that since p is prime, p divides PCR for all 0 less than r less than p. Hence, characteristic of f is equal to p. This fact implies that PCR a to the power p minus r, b to the power r is equal to 0 for all 0 less than r less than p. And so, if we expand a plus b whole to the power p as a to the power p plus pc1 a to the power p minus 1 into b plus pc2 a to the power p minus 2 b square plus so on plus b to the power p, we see that all the intermediate terms become 0 and it reduces to a to the power p plus b to the power p. Thus, we have sigma a plus b is equal to sigma a plus sigma b. Also, the commutativity of multiplication implies that sigma ab is equal to ab whole to the power p is equal to a to the power p into b to the power p, which is equal to sigma A into sigma B. These two shows that sigma is a homomorphism. Now we show that this sigma is onto as well as 1 to 1. To show that sigma is onto, consider an element B from F. We are to show that there is some A in F such that B is equal to sigma A. Since B belongs to F, we have B is equal to B to the power P to the power n. So if we take A to be B to the power P to the power n minus 1, then sigma A becomes equal to B, and so sigma is onto. Since sigma is a finite set and sigma maps F into F, the onto-ness of sigma implies that sigma is 1 to 1. Thus, sigma becomes an automorphism of F. This automorphism sigma is called after the name of the celebrated mathematician Frobenius. Henceforth, we will refer sigma as Frobenius automorphism. To characterize finite fields, Frobenius automorphism takes an important role. First, we show that every non-constant polynomial over a finite field is separable. Recall that we proved every non-constant polynomial over a field of characteristic 0 is separable. Now we are proving every non-constant polynomial over a finite field is separable. So, the problem for testing separability of a non-constant polynomial remains only for the fields, infinite fields of characteristic P for some prime P. Anyway, let us prove this result. Let F be a finite field of P to the power n elements, and consider an irreducible polynomial fx over F. On the contrary, if possible, assume that fx is not separable. Then fx can be expressed as summation ai x to the power p whole to the power I, where ai belong to F. Since ai belongs to F, we have ai to the power p to the power n is equal to ai for all I equal to 1, 2 up to r, and this implies that fx is equal to summation I equal to 1 to r ai to the power p to the power n minus 1 xi whole to the power p. That is, fx becomes a non-trivial product of polynomials, and this contradicts that fx is irreducible over F. Thus, fx and hence every polynomial over F is separable. Recall that a non-constant polynomial is separable if every irreducible factor of this polynomial is separable. Since here we prove that an arbitrary irreducible polynomial fx is separable, it follows that every polynomial over F is separable. Now we show that every finite field is perfect. First, let me recall the definition of perfect fields. Suppose F is a field of characteristic P. Denote F to the power P to be the collection of all A to the power P where A runs over F. Then the field F is defined to be perfect if F to the power P is equal to F. Now we show that every finite field is perfect. Consider a finite field F of characteristic P. Recall that the Frobenius automorphism sigma F to F is defined by sigma A is equal to A to the power P. Since sigma is onto, we have F is equal to sigma F, which is again equal to the collection of all A to the power P where A runs over F, that is equal to F to the power P. Thus, the field F becomes perfect. Now we determine all subfields of a finite field F. In this regard, the most known is the Lagrange's theorem on the possible orders of subgroups of a finite group. According to the Lagrange's theorem, if G is a finite group and H is a subgroup of G, then order H is a divisor of order G. So, if F is a finite field of order P to the power n, then using Lagrange's theorem, it immediately follows that the finite fields are of order P to the power m for some m less than n. Here we show that this result can further be refined, that if K is a subfield of F, then K is of order P to the power m, where m is a divisor of n also. Here we show that the converse also holds, and if F is a finite field of order P to the power n, then for every positive integer m divides n, F has unique subfield of order P to the power m. The uniqueness is the most important feature of the subfields of a finite field. So, formally, to state the result, let F be a field of order P to the power n, then for every positive integer m divides n, F has unique subfield of order P to the power n, and conversely, order of every subfield of F is of the form P to the power m for some m divides n. First, assume that m is a positive integer which divides n. Then, n is equal to mk for some positive integer k, and so P to the power n minus 1 becomes a multiple of P to the power m minus 1. Suppose P to the power n minus 1 is equal to P to the power m minus 1 into t. Now we show that using this result, P to the power x to the power P to the power m minus x is a factor of x to the power P to the power n minus x. Look, x to the power P to the power n minus x is equal to x into x to the power P to the power n minus 1 minus 1. replace p to the power n minus 1 by p to the power m minus 1 into t. Thus, x to the power p to the power m minus 1 into t minus 1 takes the form a to the power t minus b to the power t, and factorize this in this way. And then if we multiply x to the first factor, we get x to the power p to the power m minus x into a polynomial in x. Thus, x to the power p to the power m minus x divides x to the power p to the power n minus x. Now we show that every splitting field of x to the power p to the power n minus x contains a splitting field of x to the power p to the power m minus x, and hence every field f of order p to the power n contains a subfield k of order p to the power m. Recall that every field f of order p to the power m is a splitting field of x to the power p to the power n minus x over zp. Then, since x to the power p to the power m minus x divides x to the power p to the power n minus x, it follows that f contains a splitting field k of x to the power p to the power m minus x over zp, and this splitting field k is of order p to the power m. Thus, we see that f contains a subfield k of order p to the power m. Now, we are to show that this k is a unique subfield of f of order p to the power m. The uniqueness is actually follows from the fact that the polynomial x to the power p to the power m minus x can have at most p to the power m roots in f, and every element of a field of order p to the power m is a root of the polynomial x to the power p to the power m minus x. Thus, if there is a subfield L of f and order of L is equal to p to the power m, so every element of L is a root of the polynomial x to the power p to the power m minus x. Again, every element of k is also roots of the polynomial x to the power p to the power m minus x. If k is distinct from L, then there are more than p to the power m roots of this polynomial within f, which is impossible, and hence the subfields k and L will be identical. Now, we show that m divides n. Suppose k is a subfield of f, then k is of characteristic p, and so is an extension of zp. Assume that the degree of the extension of k over zp is equal to n. Then it is easy to prove that order k is equal to p to the power m. Then the Tower rule shows that degree of extension f over zp is equal to degree of the extension f over k into degree of the extension k over zp, and hence n is equal to m into degree of the extension f over k. Thus, m divides n. As an application of this result, we will find number of subfields of a field of order 3 to the power 8. First, note that since 3 is prime, there is a field F of order 3 to the power 8, and any other field of order 3 to the power 8 is isomorphic to F. So, if we can find number of subfields of a field F of order 3 to the power 8, the same result holds for any other finite field of order 3 to the power 8. So, take a finite field F of order 3 to the power 8. Then the above result shows that F has exactly as many subfields as the number of positive divisors of 8, because corresponding to every positive divisor D of 8, F has a subfield of order 3 to the power D and it is unique. Since there are only 4 positive divisors of 8, namely 1, 2, 4 and 8, so the total number of subfields of F is 4. Now, we characterize finiteness of a field F by the structure of its multiplicative group. To be precise, let F be a field, then the multiplicative group F star dot is cyclic if and only if F is a finite field. First, we assume that the multiplicative group is cyclic and also assume that it is generated by A. We are to show that the field F contains finitely many elements. First, we show that characteristic of this field F cannot be 0. Otherwise, -1 is distinct from 1, and which shows that -1 is equal to a to the power n, and so a to the power 2n is equal to 1 for some positive integer n. Then order of F star becomes equal to order of A, and which is less than equal to 2n implies that F is a finite field, but every field of characteristic 0 is infinite. Hence, our assumption that characteristic F is 0 is wrong. Let characteristic of F be equal to P for some prime integer P. Then F can be considered as an extension of ZP. And since F star is a cyclic group generated by A, this immediately implies that F is a simple extension of ZP and generated by A, that is F equal to ZPA. Now, we show that A is algebraic over ZP. If A minus 1 is not equal to 0 or 1, then we have some positive integer n in n such that A minus 1 is equal to a to the power n, which shows that A is a root of x to the power n minus x plus 1 over ZP. Thus, A becomes algebraic over ZP. If A minus 1 equal to 0 or A minus 1 equal to 1, then A is either 1 or 2 times 1 implies that A is in ZP. Thus, in either case, A is an algebraic element over Zp, and so the degree of the extension Zpa over Zp is finite. Assume that degree of this extension is r, then order of f is equal to p to the power r, hence f is a finite field. For the converse, assume that f is a finite field. We are to show that the multiplicative group f star is a cyclic group. Since f is a field, the multiplicative group is a finite abelian group, and so it contains an element alpha whose order r is the LCM of the orders of all elements of the group f star. Then each element of f star satisfies the equation x to the power r is equal to 1, since order of each element divides r. Now this equation can have at most r roots in the field f, and hence order of f star becomes less than equal to r. Since f star contains an element of order r, so it follows that order of f star is greater than equal to r. Thus, order of f star is equal to r, which is equal to order of the element alpha. Thus, f star is such a group which contains an element alpha of order same as the number of elements in f star. Hence, the group f star becomes a cyclic group which is generated by alpha. This result has several consequences. The first consequence is every finite extension of a finite field is a simple extension. Let f be a finite extension of a finite field K, and K is of characteristic P. Then f is also of characteristic P. Since f is a finite extension of a finite field, so f becomes a finite field, and hence its multiplicative group f star is cyclic. Say f star is generated by C for some C in f. This implies that f is equal to simple extension over Zp, that is f is equal to Zpc. Now Zp is a subset of K, which is again a subset of f, implies that Zpc is a subset of Kc is a subset of Fc is equal to f. Thus, f becomes equal to Kc, and hence f is a simple extension of K. With the help of this corollary, now we will prove that given any finite field K and positive integer d, there is an irreducible polynomial Px of degree d over K. Let characteristic of K be equal to P. Then order of K will be P to the power m for some positive integer n. Denote n to be the product of m and d. Since n is a positive integer, there is a field f of order p to the power m. Since m divides n, f has a subfield L of order p to the power m. Then K and L are isomorphic because K and L are of same order p to the power m. Thus, f contains a subfield which is isomorphic to K. So, f can be considered as an extension of K. Since F is a finite extension of the finite field K, the previous corollary implies that F is a simple extension of K, that is, we have some C such that F equal to Kc. Also, F by K being a finite extension, it is algebraic. Suppose Px belongs to Kx be the minimal polynomial of C over K. Then from the properties of minimal polynomial, it follows that Px is irreducible over K. So it remains to show that degree of Px is D. In fact, degree of Px is equal to the degree of the extension Kc over K, which is equal to, by the Tower rule, degree of the extension F over Zp by degree of the extension K over Zp, that is equal to n by m and hence equal to D. Thus, the result follows. Thus, we see that given any prime p and positive integer n, there is an irreducible polynomial Px of degree n over Zp. But unfortunately, the above proof does not suggest any algorithm or method to find such an irreducible polynomial over Zp. The following result can be used recursively to find irreducible polynomials over Zp. Here we do not give details of the proof of this result, state only. The polynomial x to the power p to the power n minus x over Zp is precisely the product of all distinct irreducible polynomials over Zp of degree d, where d runs through all positive divisors of n. We will use this result to find irreducible polynomials of degree d over Zp. So, to get irreducible polynomials of degree d, we have to consider a polynomial x to the power p to the power n minus x, where n is a multiple of d. To demonstrate the result, I will give you two examples. The first one is to find irreducible quadratics over Z2. So, to find irreducible polynomials of degree 2, it is sufficient to consider the polynomial x to the power 2 square minus x over Z2, that is x to the power 4 minus x. Since 2 has only two positive divisors 1 and 2, according to the previous result, x to the power 4 minus x is the product of all irreducible polynomials over Z2 of degree 1 and 2. Now, x and x minus 1 are the only irreducible polynomials of degree 1 over Z2. So, the quotient of x to the power 4 minus x, when it is divided by x into x minus 1, will be the product of all irreducible quadratics over Z2. Here we see that the quotient is x square plus x plus 1, a polynomial of degree 2. Hence, this is the only irreducible quadratic over Z2. My second example is to find irreducible cubics over Z2. So, as we have explained in the previous example, here we consider the polynomial x to the power 2 cube minus x over z2. Note that 3 has only two positive divisors, 1 and 3. So, x to the power 8 minus x is the product of all irreducible polynomials over z2 of degree 1 and 3. Since x and x minus 1 are the only irreducible polynomials of degree 1 over z2, so we have to find x to the power 8 minus x by x into x minus 1, and this can be factored into x cube plus x square plus 1 into x cube plus x plus 1, and this shows that there are only two irreducible cubics over z2, which are x cube plus x square plus 1 and x cube plus x plus 1. This method can be used recursively to find irreducible polynomials of higher degree over z2 or over z3 or over z5, and an algorithm can be developed to get irreducible polynomials of an arbitrary degree n over zp. And recall that getting irreducible polynomials over zp is important to construct finite fields of order p to the power n.